All right, so you've just landed a job at TCS. Awesome. But let's be real, the first thing on your mind is probably, how do I get that salary bump? You've heard about the digital exam, but what does it actually take to pass it? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the whole TCS Elevate Wings 1 process into a super simple, clear roadmap. Let's figure out exactly how you get there. Yeah, that's the magic number, right? 7 lakhs per annum. This is what's known as the digital salary package, and it's the big goal for pretty much everyone joining TCS in roles like Ninja, Smart, or Ignite. It's a pretty huge jump from what you start with.
Okay, so we all know the destination, but the journey, the actual path to get there, this TCS Elevate Wings 1 exam can feel, incredibly confusing. You want the digital package, for sure, but trying to figure out the right courses and all the exam rules can be a real headache.
And look, if you're feeling totally lost in all this, you're not the only one, not by a long shot. So many new hires get bogged down trying to figure out the learning paths. Which courses do I have to do? Which track is the easiest? How do these exams even work? It's just a lot. I mean, just listen to what our source for this, the channel Coding Veda, has to say.
The path is complex and it creates a ton of doubts and confusion. But hey, that's exactly why we are here. We're going to cut through all that noise and make it simple.
So how do we make sense of all this chaos? Well, it actually boils down to a pretty straightforward 4-track journey. To get that digital incentive, you just need to complete these 4 main steps. This is your personal roadmap. Yep, that's it. It's all about these 4 things. First, you've got domain learning. Second is the articulation track. Third, and this one's the biggie, a core full stack track. And finally, number 4, you get to pick one elective track. Get all 4 done, and you're golden. Okay, but here's where you gotta pay close attention. To really nail this, you need to understand the difference between 2 little words, pass and distinction. It's pretty simple, really. These are just the 2 possible outcomes for your exams. A pass is, passing, and distinction is passing with flying colors. Knowing which one you need for each track is the key to the whole thing. Let's put some numbers to that. To get a pass, you just need to clear 50%. But for that distinction, you've got to hit 75% or more. Seems simple enough, right? Well, hold on. Because, and this is probably the most crucial thing to get right, the rules aren't the same for every track. What you need for one might be totally different for another. Let me show you what I mean. For that second track articulation, you can relax a bit. A pass is fine, a distinction is fine. Either way, you're good. But for track number 3, that core full stack, there is 0 wiggle room. It is a mandatory distinction. You have to get that 75%. So if you're going to focus your energy anywhere, make it here.
All right, what about that last piece of the puzzle, the elective? This is where you get to make a choice, and that choice changes the game completely.
And this is where you can really play it smart. Look, if you decide to do another full stack track for your elective, you only need a pass, just 50%. But if you go for any of the others, like a process track or a business skill, you're back to needing that high score, a distinction. Okay, enough with the rules and scores for a second. Let's get to the good stuff. What cool tech do you actually get to learn? These full stack tracks, or T-tracks as they call them, have some really interesting specializations. Man, you've got a ton of choices. You a web dev person? T1 is all about MERN and mean stacks. More into AI, T3's got you covered with machine learning and Python. Want to be a backend guru? T4 is Spring Boot or Django. And then you've got DevOps, cybersecurity, data engineering. Seriously, pick what you're passionate about. Okay, so you've got your plan, you know what scores you need. Let's talk logistics. Who can even take this exam? When is it? And what's the process actually like?
So first things first, this is mainly for new hires with less than 4 years under their belt. The cool part is you've got total freedom. You can do the tracks in whatever order you want. And get this, you can absolutely knock out all 4 of them in a single exam period.
And you're not just limited to one try. The exams happen twice a year, once in May and again in November. So you've got 2 big opportunities each year to get this done. So what does it actually take to clear a track? Well, for most of them, it's a 2-step dance. First, you've got to go through all the online courses and pass the little tests on the TCS platform. Once you do that, you unlock step 2, heading to a TCS Ion Center to take the real, proctored, in-person exam. But wait, there's an exception to the rule, and it's a good one. That very first track, domain learning, you don't have to take a big final exam for that one. All you have to do is complete the online course. That's it. It's easily the simplest one to check off your list.
So let's recap the mission. You complete the domain learning online. You pass articulation. You absolutely crush that core full stack track and get a distinction. Then you clear your elective. You do all that, and boom, you're officially eligible for the digital package. That 7 LPA salary is yours. So the path seems pretty clear, right? It's a huge opportunity. And yet, if you look online, you'll see people calling this whole exam a scam. Why is that? What's the catch? Is this whole thing really the golden ticket it seems to be? Or is there something else going on?